All right, everybody, we are checking in from the Denver airport. We're on our way to see my mom for her retirement. Plans changed again, and we no longer actually need to get citizenship, or not citizen, we no longer need to get residency in Wisconsin because our visas changed again.
Yeah, the whole visa process for Spain has changed, like not long ago.
May 20th, they redid all of it.
They redid everything. So we wouldn't have been able to work on a student visa. We wouldn't have been able to transfer to a work visa after the student visa. So all the plans that we had around the student visa kind of fell through.
So we are deciding to do something completely different, and we are going to do something called the Schengen Shuffle, which sounds crazy and chaotic, but basically what it is the Schengen refers to a zone of 29 countries that is most of the EU, and then some additional countries that aren't in the EU, like, for example, Norway. And those countries all have the same immigration rules for US citizens. And what that rule is that you can spend up to 90 days in a 180-day period in the Schengen zone, after which you must leave the Schengen for 90 days, and then every 180 days it resets. So a lot of people haven't heard of this little country called Andorra, but that's going to be kind of our cheat sheet in Europe, is this country called Andorra. And Andorra is a tiny little mountainous country. It's only 45 kilometers wide, in between Spain and France in the Pyrenees Mountains. And it is non-Schengen. It's only 2.5-hour drive from where we want to live in Sitges, near Barcelona. So our plan is to live for 89 days in Sitges, and then to drive the 2.5 hours north to Andorra, and then live for 90 days in Andorra, and then go back and forth.
Yeah, so in order to do this, we're going to need a vehicle. We originally didn't want to have a vehicle in Sitges because it's very walkable, but Andorra is not. It's very mountainous, lots of windy mountain roads and lots of snow, and they only have buses to Andorra. They don't have trains or no airport or anything like that. So Miguel, our Spanish tutor, is going to help us find a vehicle when we get there. And I think it's going to open up a lot of opportunities for us to like explore, because that's what we really want to do. We really want to kind of travel and explore Europe and figure out where we want to be.
And this gives us the option too. So just because you can spend up to 90 days in it doesn't mean you have to spend 90 days in one place. So we could do 30 days in Spain, 30 days in Germany, 30 days in France, and then go to the UK. And then 30 days back in Spain again. So we can kind of bounce around. And normally we couldn't afford to do this because we can't afford to pay rent somewhere plus travel. But this is basically forcing us to travel, which
is really what we want to do.
Yeah, and
to be honest,
as a PT, I see so many people that wait to retire, and they say, I'm saving up all my money and all my time and all my resources so I can travel when I retire. And then they have a stroke and they can't go anywhere, or then they die. And you know what? There's no guarantee that the way this is going in the economy that we're going to get to retire, or we'll be alive or in good health to travel. So we're going to take advantage of it when we're young and healthy.
Yeah, so there's all kinds of ways to live life, and we're figuring out an alternative way. We're going to be working online. He's taking a TEFL certificate right now to be an English teacher, and he's going to teach online essentially. Our Spanish tutor is going to kind of help him get started with clients, and so that'll be really helpful. He's been great.
He's wonderful. We owe him so much.
And so that's the goal. Work online, work odd jobs for me while I go to school. I need to get a bachelor's degree started, at least. And so I'm going to be going to school online, and he's going to be working online, and we're going to be traveling all over Europe.
It kind of sounds fun to bounce back between the beaches and the really big queer scene in Sitges, and then the nature in the mountains and skiing and snowboarding in Andorra, and then wherever we want to go from there. So we're kind of planning on still leaving September-ish, and as of right now, and possibly booking stuff in Spain and then in Andorra, and then after that kind of waiting and seeing how it goes.
Yeah. So we're very excited. I'm super excited to meet Trey's mom and dad this week. That's going to be fun. We also have a trip to Alabama planned for later in July. Before we leave to see my parents and my family. My brothers are going to come hang out with us too. So we're making the rounds, seeing everybody that we love before we leave. And then, yeah, the first stop is going to be Sitges, as originally planned. And then Christmas in Andorra.
Yeah. So that's our update from the Denver airport.